Okay, good morning. I'm Maria Morris from the Southern Poverty Law Center, and we're here today because of an opinion that that Judge Thompson of the District Court of the Middle District of Alabama issued on Saturday. As the court found, the Alabama Department of Corrections continues to violate the prohibition on cruel and unusual punishment by failing to provide adequate mental health care. Because of its failings, 15 people died by suicide in the prisons in Alabama between December of 2017 and March of this year. For the year of 2018, that's approximately 3 times the national average. The Department of Corrections can't prevent all suicides, but many of the suicides that occurred here might have been prevented if ADOC had been following its own policies. If ADOC was following its policy requiring 30-minute checks by correctional officers in every segregation unit, would they have seen the noose in Billy Thornton's cell? Would they have seen the noose in Roderick Abrams' cell or in Ross Wolfinger's cell? If ADOC was following its policy of placing people who are suicidal on suicide watch and giving them a risk assessment before releasing them from suicide watch, would they have realized that Matt Holmes was suicidal? Would they have realized that Timothy Chumney was suicidal? If ADOC had followed its policy of conducting follow-up mental health visits after people were released from suicide, would they have realized that Paul Ford was suicidal, or that Ross Wolfinger was, or that Billy Thornton was? If ADOC was following its policy of conducting pre-placement screenings before placing people in segregation and acting on the findings in those screenings, would Matt Holmes still be alive? Would Rashad Morissette still be alive? Would Roderick Abrams still be alive? These are questions we can't know the answer to, but it's possible they would. The court's opinion recognizes the urgency of the situation facing ADOC. The system remains grossly understaffed, and people are dying as a result. The court has ordered the ADOC to do a number of things, starting today, to address the risk of suicide. Some of these changes are going to be really hard for ADOC. For example, one of the changes that's been ordered is to conduct the 30-minute security checks in every segregation unit. As long as ADOC remains understaffed, this is going to be difficult. This is a challenge that ADOC needs to face, not by building prisons that won't be available for years, but by meaningfully addressing who's going into the prisons and how long they're staying. We hope that ADOC will finally recognize the urgency of the issue before it. The time has come for ADOC to come to the table and work through a meaningful, comprehensive solution to the inadequacy of mental health care in its prisons. We hope it will do so.